Are you a typical high school athlete with an atypical dream? Would you like to take your game from average to awesome? Are you looking to go from no player to role player to star player? Are you looking to increase your scoring average year after year? Are you looking to earn a college scholarship? So if you're an athlete and this describes you, or you're the parent of an athlete that this describes, today I'm going to give you the roadmap, the blueprint, a 3-step guide to easily get your athlete into what I call go mode. And if you're ready, let's go. So welcome, I am Dr. Jason Parker, and this is JP3 Training. And our goal, as always, is to help young athletes ascend and achieve their goals at higher and higher levels. And today, my favorite topic to talk about any young athlete is getting into go mode. But before you understand what go mode is, we have to understand what growth mode is. Growth mode is what every single young teenage athlete is in naturally. They wake up, they're stronger, they're faster, they're smarter. They're all of these things that occur without them putting anything into it. It happens passively. That's why this is the greatest time perhaps in their life to see monumental changes month after month and year after year, because they're in an accelerated phase. But go mode is about taking advantage of this phase. It's about using our intentionality, using our energy in order to make the most of growth mode and get into go mode. This is a time where young, serious athletes should be climbing the ranks year after year after year. And when I say the ranks, I'm not just referring to rankings, if that's something you're interested in, but I'm talking about in their growth in their skill level, growth in their speed, growth in their stature even, growth in their maturity, growth in their social skills, growth in their accomplishments and their achievements. We should see these things happening year after year after year. So today, I'm gonna give you three easy steps to get your athlete into go mode. But before we get to those 3 steps, I want to give you one bonus point, okay? And let me ask you this. Do you know anyone who was a typical high school athlete that went from average to awesome? Do you know anyone that went through the transformation to being off the team to being the team's leading scorer in just under 12 months? Are you familiar with anyone who increased their scoring average by over 5 points year after year after year and finished as their school's all-time leading scorer? Do you know anyone who was offered multiple Division I scholarships and ended up having their jersey retired at their school? Well, you do now, because I am that person. And one bonus point for getting into go mode is to get a guru. And we'll talk a little bit about that later. But first, I want to take you on a journey on how to get into go mode. So the number 1 step for getting into go mode, and these are all simple steps. They're not easy, but they are so simple, it will blow your mind. Step number 1 to get any athlete into go mode is to develop a distinct dream. Think about that. Develop a distinct dream. This is a dream that is all their own. You see, the hardest thing most athletes, most people never do is to stop and think, to stop and dream, to feel the feelings of actually accomplishing, to decipher what it is that they actually want. The way I developed my distinct dream was quite crazy, in fact. It was my very first day as a high school student, as a 9th grader, and my parents dropped me off at the front door of the school. And I'll never forget it, but I'm walking up towards the door and I look up to the marquee that said the school name, and I basically said, I'm gonna be the greatest player to ever walk through these doors. Now, I don't know what made me say that. I don't know if it was the pretty girls getting out of the cars, making me feel less than, or, the huge junior and senior guys walking in with all the muscles and the cool swag. I don't know if I just felt like, man, I'm nothing here and I want to be somebody. I don't know what it was. But from that day forward, that was my distinct dream. And so as a young athlete, as a high school athlete, you have to have something that is all your own, something that motivates you, something that fuels you, something that you see when you close your eyes. Now, like I said, this is so simple, but it's not easy. Because when you ask most high school athletes, what are their goals? What is their overarching goal? They're either afraid to say it or they don't know it. You have to put in the work. And this starts with simple actions like meditations, affirmations, sitting down, reading books, dreaming, doing research on some of your favorite players, whether they be high school athletes or whether they were successful at the high school level, college, or professional level. Something that inspires you for you to say, I want that. I want to achieve. It could be, I want to be my school's all-time leading scorer. It could be, I want to earn a college scholarship. It could be, I want to become a varsity starter. Whatever it is, own that dream. That thing is yours, and that thing will motivate you to accomplish all of your goals. You see, we often underestimate, especially as young people, our power, our most prevalent power, which is called willpower. We underestimate this because we never use it. We never put it into effect at a high level. You use willpower often when you try to get something you want in the moment, like I like that girl or I like that boy, and so I'm going to be nice to them and hopefully they'll become my boyfriend or girlfriend, or I like those shoes and I'm going to get my parents to buy them, or I want that chicken sandwich and so I'm going to drive and get whatever the case may be. We're used to using willpower on low levels, but developing a distinct dream will allow you to use your willpower at high levels. So let's move on. Step number 2 for getting into go mode is to develop a different drive. Okay, if your distinct dream is truly a distinct dream, if you've done that work, it's going to motivate you. You see, the dreaming is the thinking part. This is your most powerful muscle. Don't ever forget that. You see, because so many athletes are spending time activating their grind, but very few athletes are activating their mind. And so if you would spend 1 hour for every 5 hours you're in the gym just thinking, for every 1 hour you're in the gym, spend 10 minutes just thinking. Set aside time in your day. I meditate 3 times a day and I own several businesses and work. You have 5 to 10 minutes to set aside to activate your mind. And if you've truly done that and developed your distinct dream, it will take you to point number 2, which is a different drive, because that's the action part of it. We know that faith without works is dead. So there's got to be the dreaming component and the doing component. And now that you've dreamed, that dream will inspire you to do something. And just like that dream, what you do should be different. It should be something that's all your own. Yes, you're going to practices, you're going to training, you're doing all the things, you're checking all the boxes, you have an AAU team, but are you doing something that nobody else has to tell you to do? Maybe it's getting up and going for a run regularly. Maybe it's, working on your ball handling in the mornings. Maybe it's coming early to practice and getting 100 free throws. What is your distinct dream? You see, what's important about a distinct dream is that it separates us. And separation is always going to be the pathway to success. You think about it. I don't care if you're talking about a doctor, a lawyer. I actually have my law degree. I had to separate myself for 3 years in order to get it. My different drive after developing my distinct dream to become the greatest player in the history of my high school, or to ever walk through those high school doors, my different drive was asking my dad to work with me every day after practice. And so every day he would come to practice, or nearly every day, and we would work out for 30 minutes to an hour every single day. My teammates started calling it Camp Parker. They would make fun of me. And I literally went from a person who, as a freshman, was not on the varsity team to a year later averaging 20 points a game as a sophomore and leading my team in score. All because of the distinct drive and the different dream. And then point number 3, which I'm going to tell you, a crazy consistency. Because if you have a truly done the mental work and you have a distinct dream, it will inspire you to get a different drive. And if you will have the fortitude, the willpower, as I mentioned earlier, to get crazy consistent with those things. What does that mean? It means you almost never miss. Like I said, almost every day my dad would come. Almost every day I would meditate or affirm in some way that I'm the best player in school history. Every single day. That was my dream. I wasn't worried about college scholarships. I wasn't worried about girls and all these other things, even though I ended up marrying my high school sweetheart. For me, it was all about being the best player in my school's history, developing a different drive, and started to work out on my own, started to separate myself. And that different drive led me to different drives, right? That thing opened up different doors where it wasn't just the workouts. Then I began to add weightlifting. Then I began to add pickups, going up to my local college, playing pickup games with older guys. I was willing to do anything within my different drive. And then I got crazy consistent, okay? If you can just do those 3 things, you will transform yourself from average to awesome. I promise you. I'm not just a proponent, I'm proof that this works. Develop a distinct dream, develop a different drive, and get crazy consistent. Now, I got 2 real quick bonus points for you. One you already know, which is get a guru or guide, okay? Guides have been there. Guides always make the trip easier, okay? I don't care if you need to go to the airport. It's always easier to get an Uber. If you got to go to the top of a mountain, it's always easier to get a Sherpa or somebody who's been there. The thing about guides is, number 1, they need to know the way based on personal experience. I see a lot of guides out here that are just talking things that they don't actually know. Maybe they've studied them, maybe they're knowledgeable, but a real guide is someone who's been to that mountaintop. The other thing about the guide is they have to be willing, okay? And so, like I said earlier, if you don't know a guide, if you don't know a guru, you know one now. And not only have I been there, but I'm willing to be your guide. And so subscribe to this channel because I am committed to putting out content to help athletes, serious athletes, go from average to awesome. So hopefully you'll go on this journey with me, like and subscribe, and share this information with others. The last bonus points I have for you is to go with gear shifts. After you get your guru, go with gear shifts. What is a gear shift? Well, when we're driving in a manual vehicle and we put our hand on the gear shift or the gear shaft and we move it just a little bit and we press that gas, and all of a sudden the car accelerates faster than ever. In order to get from growth mode into go mode and accelerate in these critical years as a high school athlete, you must pay attention to gear shifts. If you're watching this, that tells me you're an athlete who works at your craft. You're well on the road to establishing your success. You're doing all the right things. But sometimes, because of this, we subconsciously turn off the advice that's being given to us from our gurus, from our mentors, from our parents, from our teachers, from our coaches, from our trainers, because we're taking in so much, we're not noticing those little points that can get us to accelerate faster. And so go forward with gear shifts by changing your mindset and your body language when it comes to receiving information. Because what I found out is, as somebody who studies a lot, as somebody who works hard at my craft, it's not the big things that cause me to accelerate. It's the little points that change my perspective just a little bit, or that open up an idea just a little bit, that cause me to move forward faster. And so some things you can do to go forward with gear shifts are, first of all, have a journal with you. Always have something that you're writing with, even if it's a notepad on your phone, a notepad app on your phone. Always be taking notes, because you never know when you'll look back and all of a sudden 2 or 3 different concepts start to come together. The other thing is eye contact. So many young athletes today lack eye contact when a coach or a teacher is actually talking to them. To receive someone else's energy is a precious, precious thing. Even you watching this video right now, I'm so grateful for your attention. You also have to be grateful as an athlete when someone else gives you their attention. Because if you weren't worthy of that attention, if you were somebody who had no chance at being successful, most likely that person wouldn't be giving you their attention. You see, there's a thin line between love and hate. And what that means is we often get angry or give instruction to those we love most because we want them to do good. And so when someone gives you their attention, they're giving you their energy, they're giving you their knowledge, they're giving you their passion, and they're giving you potential gear shifts that can get you to your next level. And so, as I mentioned earlier, I hope this video can help you get from growth mode into go mode. And if I could help you in any other way, check out jp3training.com, where we have tons of digital content as well as other add-on services that can help take athletes everywhere from growth mode to go mode.